In certain crystalline materials known as spin-ices, researchers have observed emergent quasi-particles that behave like magnetic monopoles. These are not fundamental particles, but collective excitations of atomic spins that mimic the behavior of an isolated magnetic charge. In a spin-ice lattice, the magnetic moments of atoms arrange themselves in a frustrated geometry, where flipping one spin can result in a disturbance that propagates through the lattice as a magnetic monopole. These discoveries have provided experimental systems in which the physics of monopoles can be explored, albeit in a limited and indirect way. The study of these synthetic monopole-like objects have advanced our understanding of magnetic charge and may pave the way for new technologies. For instance, the systems that use magnetic currents rather than electric ones could benefit from the ability to manipulate isolated poles if they can be stabilized and controlled. However, these laboratory analogs do not resolve the deeper question of whether true monopoles exist as fundamental entities. One of the difficulties in detecting a magnetic monopole lies in its presumed rarity and mass. If such particles exist, they may be so massive that even the most powerful particle collider cannot produce them. They may also interact with matter in ways that are subtle or difficult to distinguish from background noise. Some experimental strategies involve placing large volumes of detector material deep underground, shielding it from cosmic rays and radiation, in the hopes that a monopole might someday pass through and leave a detectable trace. Another promising avenue is astrophysical observation. Monopoles, if they exist, may be accelerated by cosmic magnetic fields and produce unique signatures as they move through space. Efforts are underway to search for these effects using radio telescopes, neutrino observatories, and cosmic ray detectors. Yet the vastness of the cosmos and the potential scarcity of monopoles make these efforts akin to looking for a single grain of sand in the ocean. The philosophical implications of discovering a magnetic monopole are as profound as the scientific ones. Their existence would provide the missing half of the magnetic puzzle and complete the symmetry between electric and magnetic phenomena. It would validate decades of theoretical work and potentially open the door to a deeper unification of the forces of nature. It might also lead to practical applications that are difficult to predict. Much as the discovery of the electron eventually gave rise to electronics, computing, and telecommunications. Moreover, the confirmation of magnetic monopoles would lend credence to the idea that the universe is governed by principles of symmetry and elegance. In modern physics, symmetry is not merely a aesthetical idea, but a guiding principle that shapes the formation of laws and interactions. The existence of magnetic monopoles would reinforce the notion that for every electric phenomena there exists a magnetic counterpart, even if it has remained hidden for most of human history. Some speculative theories even suggest that magnetic monopoles could play a role in cosmic evolution or the structure of space-time itself. In certain models, monopoles are tied to topological defects in fields that span the universe. These defects could act as seeds for the formation of galaxies or influence the curvature of spacetime. Others propose that monopoles could serve as carriers of exotic forms of information or be harnessed for advanced propulsion systems, though such ideas remain far from realization. The search for magnetic monopoles thus remains one of the grand challenges of contemporary physics. It is a quest driven not only by the desire to confirm a theoretical prediction, but by the deeper yearning to understand the fundamental natures of the universe. It reflects the same curiosity that led early scientists to discover electricity and magnetism, that drove Maxwell to unite them into a single theory, and that inspired Dirac to find harmony between quantum mechanics and relativity. Whether or not monopolies are eventually found, the pursuit itself has already enriched our understanding of field theory, quantum mechanics, and condensed matter systems. It has led to innovations in experimental design, inspired new generations of physicists, and expanded the frontier of what is considered possible. If they are discovered, magnetic monopoles will become part of the known landscape of physics, reshaping textbooks and redefining the standard model. They remain elusive. They will continue to haunt the margins of theory, a reminder of the mysteries that still await. Morgellons is a controversial and poorly understood condition that has sparked debate among patients, doctors, and researchers for many years. People who report having morgellons describe a range of troubling symptoms, most commonly skin lesions, sensations of crawling or stinging on or under the skin, and the appearance of unusual fibers or particles emerging from sores. Some individuals also report fatigue, memory loss, mood disturbances, and joint pain, making the condition seem both dermatological and systemic. However, despite the consistency in patient reports, morgellons remain officially unrecognized as a distinct disease by many mainstream medical organizations. The term morgellons was revived in the early 20th century or 21st century by a mother whose young son was suffering from skin lesions. She used the word after discovering a 17th century medical account describing similar symptoms in French children. The modern wave of reports, however, did not gain significant attention until patients began connecting online and describing their shared experiences. This network of testimonies helped Morgellons grow from isolated complaints into a larger collective phenomenon. Medical investigations into Morgellons have been mixed. One of the largest studies conducted in the United States was carried out by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention in collaboration with Kaiser Permanente, Kaiser Permanente. Published in the early 2010s, the study examined a group of patients in California who reported symptoms consistent with Morgellons. Researchers concluded that the fibers found in the lesions were mostly cotton or other commonly encountered substances. They did not find evidence of a new or infectious disease. Many of the patients studied also showed signs of psychological stress, delusional thinking, or mental illness, which led to the conclusion that Morgellons might be a manifestation of delusional parasitosis, a known psychiatric condition where individuals falsely believe they are infested with parasites. However, this conclusion has not satisfied many patients, advocates, or independent researchers. Critics argue that the study was limited in scope, failed to address many of the more complex or systemic symptoms reported, and did not adequately investigate the biochemical composition of the fibers. Some clinicians have found evidence that the fibers are not simply textile contaminants, but may contain biological materials such as keratin or collagen. Other studies have pointed to the presence of spiral-shaped bacteria similar to those that cause Lyme disease in skin samples of Morgellons patients. This has led a small group of researchers to propose that Morgellons could be a dermatological manifestation of a chronic bacterial infection.